Hello everyone, and hope you all had a happy holidays because 2020 is just around the corner, and that means I will be getting more After the Flash content. So in today's video, I'd like to go over some of the information that we do have confirmed, some of the information that we have somewhat confirmed, and information that is not at all confirmed and is more of speculation. So I do like to put out a disclaimer that even though the information can be confirmed or unconfirmed, it is all still subject to change. Even though I have reliable sources for this information, again, because most of this information is actually coming from Chad himself, it is still all subject to change. But without further ado, let's go over the information that has been confirmed, starting off with the Christmas gifts. So as we all know, this is a little bit more of a hot topic and kind of information that a lot of people would like to know, especially because this is, again, more of a mystery, of course, and I can't say exactly what we'll be getting inside the gifts. Of course, we do have what the descriptions are, as well as according to the Flashstorm announcements channel, there will be one additional prompt coming to each gift from the small, medium, large, and super. So the reason I'm going to be saying all this is because I do know that not everyone is actually part of the Flashstorm Discord, which I will have a link to it in the description below. And for those who aren't a part of the Discord and who don't follow the announcements, or are a part of the Discord but don't follow the announcements, again, this is kind of just, information I'd like to get out to you guys. Also, according to the announcements channel, we do have a release date for the gifts, and it's planned from January 2nd to January 15th. And again, this is just kind of more or less a window. I believe that Chad is trying to push out the gifts 2 to 4 days during that window, so it could range from January 2nd to, let's say, January 6th, or it could be that each gift might have a certain amount of days in between each of them. So say the first gift came out, which is the one that's the 5RS one, or the very, very smallest one, that will probably come with like a food item. Then you'd have to wait 2 or 4 days for the small gift to be released. Now, I do not believe that's going to be the case, but we don't actually know for a fact whether or not that's going to be how it is, but at least in the context, I believe it means 2 to 4 days to get all the gifts out at once. Just as I had stated prior, there will also be the one unique prop coming from the small, medium, large, and super Mr. Gifts. Additionally, we have also learned that the gifts will be going off sale starting January 1st, so make sure you guys purchase those gifts while you still can before it is too late. Next, I'd like to now discuss a somewhat confirmed to-do list for After the Flash Mirage. Now, this photo was taken by me during the very last stream of the year for Chad. This was, I believe, towards the very beginning, or actually right before he announced the stream. For those who had gotten the Twitch notification, this is what I believe we were able to see. So as you see, there is a little bit of information about the top, but for now that is still kind of unknown. But we're going to be focusing more on the middle part of this list. And the reason I say that this is confirmed is, of course, because this has been on his stream, as well as if you do look to the 4th bullet to the bottom, it says the make prop sign save settings. Of course, we had actually just gotten that in one of the most recent patches. So I'd like to say that again, this more or less is a actual to-do list that we'll be seeing come into 2020. Looking from this list, we of course have the relax and ready states for melee. So that means if you click Q while handling the firearm, you know that you could kind of lean or rest your firearm to your chest. I believe that that will be the same thing for melee weapons. We of course have the additional mutant morphs, because I believe we only have 2 at the moment, and I believe we're still missing, I think, 4 or 5 of them. And of course we have one thing that I believe Chad had said on stream, the same stream but later during it, was the 2-handed grip for baseball bat. And the area that we would like to kind of look a little bit more towards is the prop placer expansion packs. So of course, as you see, we have a plumbing and electric prop placer expansion, the furniture prop placer expansion and the biomass prop placer expansion. Now I guess this is relatively straightforward in terms of kind of what we can get. I mean, you get plumbing and electric. I assume you'll be able to get a toilet, or I don't know, a tub maybe, or something like that. Of course, on the electric we could get maybe like circuit boxes, or like wires, or like maybe on like electric poles or something like that, you know, something similar. Of course, we have the furniture prop placer. I mean, just come up with any furniture that's currently not in the current expansions or the default prop tool. And lastly, we do have the biomass prop placer. Now that I would like to get back to towards the end of the video, as it pertains to the information I have in terms of unconfirmed. But again, this will probably be more or less biomass themed props, of course, and instead of having to use the old military radio trick, hopefully we'll be able to spread the biomass with actual props from the biomass trees over by Lake Mead Nuclear. We also have on this list a toaster prop. Now I think this, I mean, it's a little bit weird because when you think about it, it's an individual prop, and I'd like to say that it's possible that that prop might be one of the mystery props for one of the gifts. Now again, that I have no idea. That's just my own opinion, my own speculation. It could just be some random addition just thrown in the next update, but I guess that'll be something we will see in the future. But moving on, we do have the custom faces to Mirage, and now I believe that will act the similar or same exact way as it does with clothing, at least when you are trying to equip it with the ID. I believe that will be the same type of feature that we'll have in the future. Next we have a bullet discussing the modified toy items on Twitch. Now that I have no information regarding, so I will be skipping over that for now. The next bullet point, of course, states adding horses. Now I believe that there was some type of speculation and discussions in the After the Flash Discord regarding if horses should be added or not. I believe this was actually discussed prior to the stream. I believe it was like maybe a week before the stream had actually started, but I believe someone had asked about role-playing as a horse. I don't know how that would work out for them, but you know, if they were able to do it, they were able to. But of course there was a little bit of a heated discussion between some of the LPMs and of course community members. But as of right now, it does say adding horses, so that is something to look for in the store within the next couple months. Next we have the copying names to clipboard. Now I believe this will be either copying names such as the Roblox user name or the in-game name, and I believe this will be kind of a little bit easier for possibly just reporting or just writing down people's names, especially giving it for those who are LPMs to see whether or not you know, just to kind of give a more solid name. I guess that'll be quicker, or it could be more or less a admin feature, but I guess again we'll have to see. Of course, next we have add morph scaling. Now I believe this will be kind of more or less a continuation of the height stance for what we have currently in the avatar section, where you're able to kind of adjust the height, and I guess you could say with the height just the overall size of your character. We'll have to wait and see exactly what that'll be. Making our way down the list, of course, we have the make prop sign save settings. This was just recently put out in one of the latest patches, and the rest are basically, I mean, the last two are basically admin only, and of course the very last one is implementing categories or search bar to the prop placer, which I do know a lot of people that actually suggested this on the Discord, and it's kind of nice to see that some of our suggestions are getting put to use. So a search bar for the prop tool, especially with all these new expansions coming out in the future, will definitely be saving a lot of time for those who use it. So that was basically all the confirmed type of information I have, at least from the most reliable straight source. Now I'd like to go over the semi-confirmed information that we have that could be coming later in this year, and this will be something that a lot of people have been suggesting, as well as it's also been passed around the community, and this is the Boulder Cove expansion. So the reason I'm going to be saying that this isn't exactly confirmed information, even though this is taken from what I believe is Chad's stream, it's the sole point that I personally did not take this photo. I'd actually gotten it off from the general chat. However, this has been brought up throughout Chad's streams, and it's been definitely something where he's definitely looked into it. Again, this ultimately, of course, is just some markups on a screenshot, but I'd like to say that this is something that might be coming up, so I'd like to discuss it a little bit. Now, of course, we have more or less a planned picture of what the Boulder Cove expansion could be, indicating buildings by letters. And I do not know at all what any of these could be. The only one I have a speculation on is the top where it says the letter H. That could possibly mean a hospital. I'm not too sure. Again, I'd like to just give you this information as in a way so that you guys can possibly expect this. Again, this is not confirmed whatsoever. However, it has possibly come from Chad's stream. Again, not taken by me, but having a Boulder Cove expansion, especially as big as this, because we all know the distance between the current Boulder Cove all the way to the motel, and having that kind of all filled in is definitely going to be making Boulder Cove a lot bigger, and I do know that that's going to be bringing a lot of love back into it. And lastly, I'd like to just go over some of the more speculative information, and this is going to be primarily around the event that might or might not be coming in this January. So I was not around during Christmas of last year, unfortunately, and I do know that there was a biomass event. Again, I did not partake in this, however, I'd seen some videos regarding it, and it's kind of been a little bit more of a build-up, at least in terms of what LPMs have been saying, the After the Flash story, and kind of more or less what's going on in game. And I'm actually very surprised that an event did not come in December, especially did not come out during the usual Christmas break. So again, you know, the prime time to have done that type of event would have been then. However, I can see the possibility of this event kicking off in January, especially either right at the beginning or the end of releasing all these gifts. Now, I have a reason to kind of pull in some other things I had brought up in the confirmed section in regards with the to-do list, and that is, of course, as you have seen, the biomass prop placer expansion and the additional new mutant morphs. Now, of course, I do believe with the last biomass event, that is where we had gotten, I believe it was one of the morphs for it. And of course, we did have a couple of rewards, so it is possible that with this event we could get this biomass prop placer expansion and the additional mutant morphs, or we may not actually even get the event at all. I'd like to say, I'd like to be very confident in saying this, that we will be getting an event. It's just going to be a matter of when it's going to release, whether it's going to be in the month of January, it could be in February. Definitely the latest would be in March. If it's not the biomass event, it's going to be some other event, and I'm calling it the latest going to be March. So that is all the information I have for today. It may not be a lot, but it is when you come to think about it. There's a lot of information that can be kind of looked in a little bit further in terms of the meaning of what we could get out of it, but at the same time, you know, there's no sense in kind of digging a little more down without the proper confirmation information. But we'll have to see how this comes up in the upcoming year. I hope you all had a happy holidays once again, and happy New Year's, because 2020 is going to be a change for all of us folks.